how do you avoid the negativity almost or something? It seems like whether it's Trisha attacking you over and over and again,
right?
You're not responding, or it doesn't seem, maybe it does affect you behind the scenes that we don't see, or with the Jeff stuff, all that went on. Like, how do you stay, I guess, positive and out of all the trappings, the drama that comes along with this job?
I learned like a long time ago that like I can't win at that game.
Mm-hmm.
So if you feed into any of that, it's just gonna bite you in the ass. And so for the people that like do drama, it eventually comes for them.
I'm Tom Ward, and over the last couple years, I've had the chance to sit down with some of the biggest celebrities and influencers in the world. What I've always found most fascinating is the stories of the businesses that they've built behind the scenes. On this show, you'll get an inside look of what it takes to build a successful business from some of the biggest celebrities, business people, and up-and-coming entrepreneurs in the world. This is The Tom Ward Show.
Hey guys, welcome to the Tom Ward Show. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications for new interviews every Tuesday and Thursday.
That's what I'm talking about.
Today,
Tom Ward Show. Guys, go smash it right now. Just break the keyboard. When they say smash it, they mean destroy the keyboard. Do it.
This is how a pro does it. Jason Nash.
Who?
Needs no introduction.
No introduction. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get another piece of content out there for the people. That's what they need. There's not enough influencers talking about themselves, and let's do it again for another hour until AI can just come here and take my place, because that's what's happening. I saw a video, Tom, the other day of a robot playing ping pong. Mm-hmm. It's haunted my mind for the last like 3 days.
Did he kick?
He was unbelievable. Not only did the robot kick it, but at the end on the last point, it went behind the back and did it confidently.
Like it'll talk.
Yeah, like a talk. Yeah, like it was it's been haunting my brain.
Will they replace you? Will the young Jason Nash right now, 20 years old, have
Tom,
a chance?
I am a robot right now. You didn't know? This isn't the real me. What are you talking about? This fucking...
No human could pump out the amount of content you're creating every day. 100 snaps a day?
100 snaps? 150?
What human could do that?
None.
Exactly.
None. So yeah, so listen, I'm down. AI, come for my job. Let's see what happens. Nobody, you can't do it like me. I'm the best to ever do it. And, well, not really. No, but yeah, it's a scary time.
Yes.
Scary time, Tom. It's a scary time because, the actors are on strike, the writers are on strike. Now the influencers are going on strike.
Are they really?
Yeah, we're going on strike.
Are you guys unionizing? Or are you?
Yeah. I've been getting paid strictly in poppy.
Okay.
Yeah, in cans of poppy. And we think that poppy should be sending at least 3 cases for a post.
Sure.
And, right now I'm only getting 1 case.
Ooh. How's your gut health?
Not so great because I don't have enough poppy.
It's suffering.
Poppy, reach out. Can you pay me? No, listen, I'm on the side of the actors and the writers, obviously. I hope they get what they want. But it's scary. Like, I read this article the other day. Simon Rich, he's a writer, and he's a great writer. And he wrote this article. He's like, this is what I'm into. You're a comedy nerd.
Yeah,
so
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
So he's like, here's 12 Onion headlines. Okay. He's like, some were written by AI, some were written by humans. I want you to tell me which ones were written by AI or whatever. So you read the Onion headlines. They're all good. Mm-hmm. They're all funny. And then in the end, he goes, they were all written by AI. And they were written in 3 seconds. And he was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
He's like, and that's Simon Rich. That's like a really
professional
good writer.
Top of the food chain guy.
Top of the chain writer. So there's a part of me that's just like, I just feel like, oh, do we need to find something else to do? Or
but okay, what you do right now? Let's promote you've got a comedy tour going on right now. You're doing stand-up
comedy tour.
How can an AI replace a Jason Nash on stage at a club? They can't replace that. So you're good there.
I think that they can. I think that they'll be able to create a stand-up that's
like a hologram stand-up comedian.
A stand-up that's as funny as Louis C.K. and as good-looking as Matt Rife and mash it together, and you're going to see X475 at the Funny Bone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason why you can't. So yeah, it's a tough time. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
What chance do the young up and comers? I mean, this is a lot of doom and gloom, and kind of a shitty way to start off a podcast. I mean,
yeah. I wanted to put this right in the toilet, so we have one where to go. I mean, we'll get to the good stuff.
Does the 20-year-old content creator have a chance?
The only thing that the 20-year-old content creator has a chance at is that they're a lot more savvy at technology than I am.
Okay.
So I'm sure that there's a kid out there that will be able to work with AI, and his job won't be taken for another 10 years. So, but no, I mean, there are ways to work with AI. I mean, I know people are like using it to like cut their podcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's good. So you have to figure it out.
Dude, I'll tell you what, I'm a contributor at Forbes. For Forbes, obviously, I do not use AI for Forbes.
Name drop.
But like when I do blog posts and stuff like that, I don't come up with, or YouTube descriptions. I don't fucking write YouTube descriptions anymore. No, ChatGPT does. I say what the interview is about, who the guest is,
right,
what topics we talked about. So I write like 4 sentences. It gives me the whole YouTube description,
and they do it,
including hashtags.
You're part of the problem.
I am. I'm not part of the solution.
Yeah.
For titles.
For
you know how long it takes to come up with a good title? You've been doing it forever.
I mean, you just have to title this,
AI is taking over the world.
Yeah. Trisha Paytas, Jeff Wittek, Jason Nash. Jason Nash on Trisha Paytas, Jeff Wittek. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's the only way to title it.
That is the title if you're watching this now. That's probably why you clicked on it.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody out there. Love to both of those people.
You look good. Yeah. You look great, let's say.
Yeah.
And you recently turned 50. I interviewed you before. You look different than you do now.
Right.
We've all seen you, on YouTube and on social media for a while, and we've seen the kind of ups and down rides of Jason Nash.
Yep.
That's people's number one thing, right? It's easy to lose. You can drop 20 pounds if you're disciplined and you're all, you go after it for a month.
Yep.
But like, for some reason, this is stuck and you've kept it off. Like, how have you done it this time? Like, what's different about this time than the times before?
I can't afford food, Tom.
Because of AI?
I can't afford to eat because I don't have this mic. I don't know. I'm in and out with it. I was in better shape last summer when I was trying to win my fiance over, but
now that you have her,
now that I have her, it's like, I found out the other day she doesn't like ripped bodies.
Oh,
yeah. I was sitting there because my algorithm, my homepage on Instagram, it's all like jack dudes.
Okay,
if you open it up, it's just ripped dudes.
That's awesome.
I showed it to her. I go, hey, check out, look at this guys.
Yeah.
And she's like, girls don't like that. She's like, I don't like that. She's like, most girls don't like ripped dudes. And then I was like, am I gay? Like,
I love ripped dudes.
I do too.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
And then I talked to my friends about it. My other friend, he's like, that's just for dudes. Dudes just like to look at like ripped dudes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah. Because I love to watch like Arnold or like Pumping Iron.
How good a movie was that?
It's so good.
Classic. He's smoking weed. He's talking about girls. The whole thing. Yeah.
And then they made a recent doc on Netflix with him.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
It's great.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I tried to show it to my fiance, and she was like, not into it.
Well, I have had friends who were like into bodybuilding stuff, and it is kind of like homoerotic because they'll have pictures of oiled up, hairless guys in their gym. It's like, who is this for? Like, what is this doing for your workout? Or is it for? Do you have it for another reason?
I don't know. And then it's also like it's not good to be ripped if you're a comedian. Like nobody likes that.
Jonah Hill had that great line. Was it in Funny People? He's like, no one likes in shape comedian. No one wants to see Lance Armstrong on stage.
Yeah. But then at the same time, I'm 50, so I don't want to I like to feel good.
Of course.
So I'm always battling with it. But and then I eat late at night but yeah. So I try to find a happy medium. Whatever.
But do you feel better now? Like
I feel a lot better.
Like more energy, like sleeping better, breathing better.
Yeah, sleeping better, and just trying to keep up with everybody and everything. And I try to go every morning, do something.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You just had yoga before this?
I had yoga before this. I go to yoga. I got kicked out of yoga.
For what?
For stinking.
Shut
for
up.
a while. Yeah.
You got to smell pretty bad to get thrown out of a yoga.
I don't think it was me.
Yeah.
But then I got the word a couple months ago. My friend Todd Smith, great guy. He was just like, hey man, he's like, I got a call from the teacher, and apparently a couple people have been complaining about you. And I was like, I've done a lot of stuff on YouTube that's so embarrassing and it didn't bother me. This crushed me. I was so embarrassed. I was just like, oh my God. Because what happens is if you really want to be in shape, the key to being in shape, this is what my little thing, I think you need to do 2 things a day.
Okay.
So you got to go lift weights, and then you also have to do cardio.
Yeah.
So for me, when I was in really good shape, I would hike Runyon and then run to yoga.
Okay.
So I probably did stink. But also like people fart in there. So I don't know. I have a yoga teacher. She's great. I really like her. But she's like kind of unzen sometimes.
What do you mean?
She'll be like, she'll come in, she'll be like, hello everybody. Namaste. And then no one will answer, and she'll be like, okay, I'll just go myself. Because like people don't answer because people are shy.
Yeah.
They don't want to be like, hey. And also like Todd and I are the only dudes in the class, so I'm like trying to not
be seen
at all.
Yeah,
you know. But yeah, so yeah, yoga, hiking, lifting. I'd like to be in better shape, but I'm on the road a lot, doing my podcast.
Yeah, a lot going on.
All good things. Making videos, taking care of the kids. I mean, my life is I can't believe how many things that you have to do in a day, like, you know, just taking care of kids. Like when you put that on it, and that's got to be your number one, you know.
For sure.
You have to but they're older now, so that's good. I'm going to start to cry, Tom.
What's an average day like? What's an average day for Jason Nash?
Okay. Average day.
So you got kids. You got to get a workout in.
Average day.
You got a podcast. You're doing Snapchat all day, documenting all of this.
Yeah, Snapchat. I wake up at 8. I hike. Then I go to yoga. Then I come back to my desk. I'm usually too tired to do anything.
Okay.
I fall asleep on the couch. And then I wake up. And then, like being in shape is a waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you just said it makes you feel better, and you've got a young fiance. You can't be a complete slob.
You feel good and you like feel confident, but the amount of time that it takes.
That's true.
You know, like my friend Zane, they're making a documentary on him for Zila Fitness right now.
Okay.
It's all he does is work out.
Yeah.
Like it's like I don't know how he was saying. I was like, I have to work.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so then
well, just on that real quick.
Yeah.
My wife's cousin said something to me once, and it was so true. Like, he doesn't exercise, eats like shit. And he would always, he told me once, he's like, you know what? All this eating healthy and working out all the time versus me not doing anything, eventually we're going to end up at the same spot where you're going to have injuries from overtraining, you're going to be stressed. I'm obviously going to have some kind of high blood pressure and heart problems and stuff. So we arrive at the same place, but I had a lot more fun along the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think about that all the time. It's so true.
Yeah. I know. But then the other part of it is when I was like 220 pounds, 226 was my highest. You know, it's like you can't even walk up the stairs. It's bad.
Dude, I was at Disney for we were just talking about this for the last 3 days. I was blown away by how obese people are.
Yeah.
Like we were at a restaurant waiting for a table, and I would say over half the people there were morbidly obese. And I'm talking like with the scooters and the whole thing. I was like, wow, man, like we got to get this on. We got to get our together.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that would be me.
Yeah.
Because
you'd be in the scooter at Disneyland. I'd be in the scooter.
Yeah. Like I love food. I try not to eat all day and intermittent fast, and I'll do all that.
You're all in.
Yeah. I mean, you know, okay. So back to my day. Usually have a podcast guest, do the podcast, make a YouTube video, write stand up. I'm writing a TV show, trying to do that. And then usually right when I'm like cooking on something, my daughter has to go to Calabasas, something like that, you know, and you're like.
Derails your whole day.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, you know, she just can't have friends in our town. She has to have friends all over I said, I don't know anybody in Calabasas.
Yeah, I don't.
You know, I'm like, oh, can you take me to so-and-so? And sometimes it's a celebrity.
Well, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Who doesn't want to meet
which I
celebrities?
can't say no to.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. There's she goes to one celebrity's house, the kid's house.
Okay.
And it's really funny because
Can we say what celebrity?
I don't want to say what celebrity, but they're a great family. And they're great people. So she goes to this one celebrity's house. It's really funny when you go to pick her up. All the parents are like outside the party, like hoping to get an invite, like in, and it's the saddest state of affairs. Because normally, you know, when I pick up my kids all the time from stuff, and the parents sit in the car, they never say hi. But at this one spot, when they go, you know, the parents are like kind of kicking around, looking, hoping to get an invite in. But I don't want to be that.
Have you got the invite in? You're a celebrity yourself. You belong there.
No. I don't want the invite in. I freak out around celebrities.
Who's the biggest celebrity you've had on the show? Or who's the biggest celebrity you've interacted with?
You've been doing biggest celebrity?
Yeah. Your biggest celebrity interaction.
I met Steve Martin once. That was really cool.
Did you talk comedy or would you?
No.
What'd you do? Did you choke?
I choked. But then also when you especially when you meet comedians, like you understand like right away that they're the same as you.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, I met Chappelle once. Like, he was really nice. That was a long time ago. We had Danny DeVito on the podcast. That was big, I guess. Big celebrity. Nah, nothing. I know there's like, Tom Cruise and Jim Carrey. Those are the biggest.
Oh, you don't get bigger than
that. We have some friends at Paramount.
Okay.
And they're really nice, and they'll invite us to go to the red carpet and stuff. And then they'll even like position you in the spot to get Tom Cruise.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was really cool. They like positioned me at Top Gun, and they're like, just wait for Tom. And Tom came up, and I was really impressed with him. He looks great. And then I said, I don't know, tell me if you think this is a good thing to say. I go, I didn't know what to say to him.
What do you say to Tom Cruise?
I go, you only have 30 seconds.
Yeah.
15 seconds.
Tops.
To maybe keep him there. So
until it's like next.
You need a good opening line.
For sure.
This was my opening line. I go, Tom, I'm a YouTuber. I do my own stunts sometimes. Do you get scared doing your own stunts? That was what I said.
Did he even respond? What did he say?
He went, yeah. He goes, well, actually, I don't know what he said. He did respond. And he was really, really cordial and really nice. He also kept his distance from me, I noticed.
I would too.
Because there's like a barricade between us, but he kept a good like 3 feet, like just in case I was crazy.
Yeah, some psycho.
I would too. Yeah. I would too. So I don't blame him for that.
You hear YouTuber, you don't know what you're getting, you know?
Yeah. And then the Jim Carrey story is great because that one I went and did a video on manifestation.
What?
Yeah, you know, like when you do YouTube, like you'll just do any idea. Like,
okay,
it's just like you just need a video. You're just like, I have to do a video this week. I need an idea.
Mm-hmm. And
you're like, I'll try this. You know, maybe it'll hit. Whatever. So I have a friend that manifests a lot, and he got all this cool stuff. Okay, and he's just like got his life in order.
So it's working.
It's working for him.
Okay,
like he manifested that he wanted to be on the cover of Men's Health, and he got on the cover of Men's Health.
Is it Oliver Trevana?
It's a guy named Harry Jowsey.
Oh yeah. Okay,
guy.
I know Harry. Yeah.
Great guy. So that day we go to manifest. I just go over to his apartment, and I don't believe in manifesting. I don't believe in astrology. I don't believe in anything.
Yeah.
I think this is all a joke, all of life, and I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to it. I'm not religious.
Yeah, me neither.
Whatever. But I know a lot of people, and it works for a lot of people. So I come in, and Harry's a great guy, and he's like, okay, well, he's like, all right, mate. He's like, you got to write down everything you want, you know? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'd love a new car. He's like, no, mate, bigger. He's like, you got to be bigger. And I was like, okay. Like, and so I said, well, I'd love to meet Dave Chappelle. He's like, no, bigger, you know? So anyways, I did write that down. I wrote down, meet Dave Chappelle, find the love of my life, lose 30 pounds. Right? I wrote all those things down.
Okay. And you still don't believe?
They all came true.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're not a believer? You're not drinking the Kool-Aid now? It all worked. Maybe Harry's onto something.
So then 2 days later, we were on the red carpet for Sonic or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when we're on the red carpet, it's not like Sandra Bullock on the red carpet. It's just like us, like, basically not supposed to be there. It's me and Jonah, like, making jokes and, like, trying to maybe get a funny clip for the vlog. Susie. So Jonah's being like stupid on the red carpet, making me laugh or whatever. And then all of a sudden, this big limousine pulls up. It's Jim Carrey. And he gets out. And like, you know, Jim Carrey's like really special to me and Jonah, like top. And he gets out of the car and we see him walking and we're like, oh, here he comes. And he looks at us and he walks right up to me. He puts his, now it's not Dave Chappelle.
Sure.
But a similar talent.
Yeah.
Similar level of comedian.
Sure.
Puts his hand out and he goes, hi, I'm Jim. Like that. And we were just like, Jonah was losing it. And I was like, hey, how you doing? Congratulations on the movie. Like, whatever. It's his 80th movie. Super nice. And Jonah goes, he's like, oh, I like your boots. And Jim Carrey goes, thanks, man. I got him out of the dumpster outside the Grammys. Like that. The Grammys had just happened. Whatever. And yeah, so I don't know. So maybe it does work. I mean, the CIA says manifestation works.
The CIA is where's this published? Who said this?
There's a big article about it.
For real?
Yeah. The CIA says that they've tried it with their operatives.
Okay.
They've tried manifestation.
Like, I'm going to kill this enemy this week.
Yeah.
I believe I can do it.
I think so.
Okay. And they do it.
Yeah. Or they'll put like a bunch of guys in a room and they'll be like, Osama bin Laden, here are the coordinates.
Okay.
And they'll like, there's a word for it. I can't remember what it's called. It's called, it's like psychic something. There's a word for it. I got to look it up. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, take or leave whatever I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you believe in it?
Manifestation?
Yeah.
On some level, yeah, I think so.
Right.
I think
there's also a delusional part of it too. Like if I sit here for the next 7 days and go, everything's great, great, then nothing's going to be bad.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Or you know, I did a stand-up set last night and it was not great, but my fiance is very positive person. We got in the car and she's like, it wasn't great, but this, and this was great.
Yeah.
She's like, that new joke worked. She's like, so this is a win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think I look at it, I guess, a little different. So if I'm thinking, you know, the thing I'm going to get a new car. I'm going to have this, whatever the car is. I'm going to have this, you know, Ferrari. If I'm constantly thinking of that, I think subconsciously behind the scenes, the brain's working out like how to get there.
Yeah.
Like, okay, the car costs $250,000. To make $250,000, I got to make $500,000. And to make $500,000, I'm going to have to start a business of some kind, or I'm going to have to do this kind of project. Or
right.
So I think maybe you're basically goal setting. I mean, goal setting works.
Yes.
Why not?
Yes.
You know?
And I wrote a bunch of other stuff down that hasn't come true. So, you know, maybe I'll be the commissioner of the NBA in December. Like, we don't know, you know.
Well, you know, you just mentioned, you know, your fiance being positive.
Yeah.
I mean, with you, there's been, you know, you look at your ex Trisha, you look at all the stuff with Jeff, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you've been at this for a while.
Here we go. Ready to clip for TikTok.
Here we go. Here we come for TikTok.
Here comes the clip.
No.
Go.
I'm not even going to get into it.
I don't
like
care.
that.
You can ask me anything. I don't care.
Okay. My big thing is, how do you avoid kind of the negativity almost or something? It seems like whether it's Trisha attacking you over and over and again,
right?
You're not responding, or it doesn't seem, maybe it does affect you behind the scenes that we don't see. Or with the Jeff stuff, you know, all that went on, like you mentioned before, like, hey, I just saw him at the gym yesterday. We're still friendly and this and that.
Yeah.
Like, how do you stay, I guess, positive and out of all the trappings, the drama that comes along with this job?
I learned like a long time ago that like, I can't win at that game.
Mm-hmm.
So if you feed into any of that, it's just gonna bite you in the ass. And so for the people that like do drama, it eventually comes for them, you know. And so and you've got to be built for that. You've got to be able to be like, yeah, I don't care, and I don't necessarily know if I'm built for that.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not built for like, oh, he said this and she said that. And it's just like, who gives a you know, like honestly, who gives a like Colleen Ballinger, like,
oh my God.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I you know, the girl's been on YouTube for 20 years. She made some missteps, but you know, like you're gonna sit there and drag her and make money off her or her name. Like, I think it's really low.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really fucking low, and I won't do it. Like, I'll literally go work at Fuddruckers or Starbucks before I just won't do it. And it's and so yeah, I don't know. I'm just not built that way.
No.
And it's like, also like I do stand up and stuff, and if I try to tell my other friends that like do YouTube, I'm like, if you could just come with me to the stand up show and see the real people, the people that are like, oh dude, my dad died over COVID. I had nothing, and I watched Views, and you and David, you know, and it like, I'm not saying this to brag, like it's like truly the nicest thing. Like, it gives me chills like when someone says that, because I don't think Views was that great. And if you ask David wouldn't say it was that great. It's just literally us just sitting there trying to be funny and talking and failing most of the time. But like, so somebody says that to you and you're like, that's the real person. It's not the like 16-year-old kid who's like, let me f with Jeff Wittick today.
Yeah.
Let me write some bad shit about David. Let me write some bad shit about, like, those people don't care.
Yeah.
Don't matter to me. And so for even to like answer that, or even to go back and be like, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. I don't know you.
Yeah.
You know?
It seems like too, your relationship with money seems interesting too. So like, if we go back, well, let's go back, but the time where, you know, you're out of college, you know, you had a great story, you know, working for Norm, which I want to talk about, and the SNL internship, what I want to talk about. But what I thought was really interesting was, so kind of after that, you're doing Vine, and you kind of blow up on Vine. You got like a following, and you're saying what were you making for like a 6-second video? Like, you were making real dough.
You could, if you got a brand deal on Vine, you can make 10 grand.
Okay.
For 6-second video.
Wow.
Which is insane, because it's 6 seconds of content.
That's incredible.
So, you know, you do spend some time on it, but ultimately it's not.
It's not a YouTube video.
It's not a YouTube video.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like crazy shocking to me that, you know, that was like a thing. Like, it seemed like a joke. Like, what? You're going to pay me to make a video? But yeah, you know, that was just something that, and all that is survival too. It's like, oh, I need to make money. Like, you're going to pay me. Okay, great. My kids need money. Like, let's go. Like, you want to fly me here to make a 6-second video? Oh, okay. So then after Vine, Vine died. Yeah, you know, my life is just always like this.
And that's what I love about your story. But what's most interesting is, Vine dies, the money train runs out.
Yeah.
You go install speakers at a convention center, right?
Yep, started installing speakers.
Before you met David. So, like, that's, to me, the most interesting thing. Like, where is your head? Like, are you super, like, I would be bummed beyond belief. Like, I kind of hit it. I found some success. People liked, obviously, what I was doing. I had millions of followers.
Yeah.
Brands like me. They're willing to pay me and fly me places.
Yeah.
It's all gone. Now I'm installing fucking speakers. Who gives a It's all over. Like, what was your mindset at the time?
You know, you just get like you just get a resilience. You're just like, I chose this. I chose to be like an entertainer.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's ups and downs to it. And it's the same for everybody. Like, people who work in business, their businesses fail. You got to pick up and start something new. You got to reinvent.
Yeah.
And I think I always have my passion, even when things are low.
Mm-hmm.
I always have my passion behind it, which makes me so happy.
Okay.
Which was like, go do stand up, go shoot a skit with Brandon Calvillo. You know, I hadn't met David yet, but like, you know, David and I still go shoot videos with him. Like, you know, as long as you have your passion, as long as you're like, there's something that makes you happy, you know, then that's fine. That's your saving grace.
Yeah. So that makes, you're installing speakers, and I'm sure you don't really want to be there, but in the back of your mind, you're like, but I'm shooting a video tonight.
Yes.
Like, I'm looking forward to that.
Exactly.
And is that the key? Being a creative person or being in acting or any of those jobs where it's up and down, a lot of rejection. Like, is it key to have that to keep you going?
100%. As long as you have your passion in life, like, I think you'll be fine. And yeah, you said it way better than I could say it. It's exactly it.
How important is passion versus money, because there's a trade-off sometimes, right? You got kids, you got a mortgage payment,
Right.
you got a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot of Jason Nash overhead.
Oh my God. Yeah,
I can only imagine. So there's some
Can
level.
you Apple pay me $40? What? Where are you?
So there's some level of like, I got to hit this every month, like, or, starts going south.
Yeah.
Versus like, I kind of want to do what I want to do. I want to interview Danny DeVito. And you know what? Maybe that video is not going to perform as well.
Right.
So like, what's the trade-off? Like, how do you balance both? Like, I can't just interview Danny DeVito and Steve Martin every day, even though that's what I would love to do. I'm guessing the most.
Right.
Nerd out on comedy, talk about the process and writing jokes. But the majority of your fan base might go, Steve Martin, was he Father of the Bride? I think I saw that when I was a kid. Like, they don't even know he was a comedian.
I think it's important to like, do stuff that you like too. You have to just do stuff that you like, because you just don't know. Somebody gave me really good advice once. I was writing on a roller coaster game show.
What?
Yeah, I was the writer on a roller. I took all kinds of jobs.
Okay.
And this job was, we would go to Six Flags. Bert Kreischer would sit on a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they would get to the top, you'd have two contestants on the side of them. And then get to the top, they'd drop. And Bert would go, who was the fourth president of the United States? And then I was in Bert's ear. So I was the writer. And I saw Jeff Garlin, and who I kind of know.
Okay.
Great guy.
Yeah,
and
funny guy.
And Curb's my favorite show of all time. And I was like, yeah, I'm working on this roller coaster game show. And he was like, he's like, work begets work. He was like, you're right where you need to be. He's like, just do the thing that's in front of you. So to say like, if I go and interview somebody on my podcast that I like, like, you just don't know. Like, the publicist may go, oh, I have 7 more clients. You did a great job.
Yep.
Just do a good job that day.
That is true.
And then something else. I mean, that happened for you. We were talking, right?
For sure, yeah.
Like, you went and you interviewed Kate Hudson.
Yep.
And then they ended up liking you and you got more, right?
Yeah.
So that's all it is.
For sure.
You just can't take it too seriously either. You're just kind of like, whatever. Who gives a And I would quit right now if I could. I'd literally, if you deposited like $10 million in my account, I would walk out right now.
That's it.
Yeah.
Never look back. You hit the Powerball, or you're never making a Snapchat again.
I'd give you my Instagram. You can have my YouTube channel.
Just sell it all.
Yeah, because I'm done.
Yeah. Is it exhausting at this point? How long have you been doing, YouTube / podcast through all that stuff?
I've been doing YouTube,
social media stuff.
YouTube for 2016. Oh, wow. Is it 2023?
Yeah.
7 years.
Okay.
And since Vine, maybe 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so 10 years on the internet.
Creating content every single day.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if it's Christmas or you're on vacation.
Yeah, Christmas videos are great. Those do great.
Yeah, no one gives a with where you're sick. It doesn't matter.
AdSense is high in December.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Best time of year.
Yeah, Christmas videos do good. Yeah, so you just got to keep going, and you just never know what the next thing will be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just got something really cool the other day. I'm gonna open for Murr from Impractical Jokers.
Okay.
And so I'm doing like 6 dates with him, and I'm gonna be part of like the interactive show. I'm gonna be in like they're gonna send me out with the IFB instead of him. So that'll be cool. Those will be live, and like, like, who knows? Like, maybe I'll pick up some of a new audience with them or something, or maybe do it. Like, I love those guys. I think they're so funny, and so just do the job that's in front of you. Do the thing. They want me to go open do 15 minutes before. Like, okay, let's do it.
Did that
see what happens?
Come from? So you grew up a comedy nerd.
Yeah.
And I like your story too, because I thought it was funny. I'm just picturing you as a kid. Your friends were fighters.
Overweight Jew.
Yeah, overweight Jew.
Only Jewish kid in my town. People pleaser.
Everyone else is hard fighting, or your dad wants you to play football, and you're like, I'm not. I want to watch Eddie Murphy Raw. That's really cool. No one else agrees with you. No. I do. I mean, the leather jumpsuit, that was a great, great performance.
Yeah.
But so you kind of just did your own thing.
Yeah, you felt so you feel so alone in what you like. Did you have as a kid, like, I had a couple buddies. I mean, my friend, shout out Aaron O'Donnell. I remember, like,
when he got crucified by the FCC, which was Howard Stern's like box set. Like he got that and we obsessively watched him, or like old Police Squad, Naked Gun stuff. Like we would watch all the Saturday Night Lives, all that stuff. Like we would nerd out on. So like there was somebody else who was like into the same things I was. Was there a kid like that for you, or were you like the only guy in your room by himself?
No, I was like the only kid into like Eddie Murphy and Bill Cosby, and then like later like Sandler and Chris Rock, and you know, it's fine. It's just like I think now it's probably a lot easier. Like there's so many comedians now that like are nerds that are famous.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like almost a genre.
Yeah, I don't want to name anybody, but some of them are my favorites.
Yeah,
it's like a genre in itself. So yeah, I just think it's a lot easier. Like my son is like really into like Nick Kroll, John Mulaney, Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah.
And like Rick and Morty's like so nerdy.
Oh yeah.
And so good. And we just didn't have that. But yeah, so.
Did you finally, so you get out of college, right? And you get a job interning at Saturday Night Live, and then later working with Norm, who I'm a huge fan of. We'll talk about Norm. But for me, like I've interviewed a ton of people, especially people from not Hollywood, right? Yeah, I think if you grow up in Hollywood, what kind of gives you an advantage in entertainment is it makes it tangible, because the kid in your school's dad is a camera guy on a TV show. Right. You know what I mean? Or, you know, this girl's dad's an agent. So it's like, oh wait, that's like real jobs. Yeah. But like I'm from, you know, New Jersey. Like me too. That's not a job. From Boston, Like people don't do that. Like it's not even a thought in your mind.
I told my parents I wanted to be a comedian. My dad was like, but you're not funny. And I was like, your sister's the funny one. And I was like, yeah, no, I know, but I'm gonna do it. And so yeah, you don't think it's attainable at all. And I see it now with my kids. My son has a band, and like he's 17. They have an album coming out in a week, and it's an actual like produced album. Like it's good, and like you know, we just didn't have that.
No,
but I mean, you know, the kids that he knows. I mean, I think like one of the kids in his band was in like Licorice Pizza. Like they're just kids that are just like, you know, for you and me, like maybe going to like soccer practice. Yeah. It was like normal. For them, it's like walking on to Paul Thomas Anderson's set, you know, and being an extra. You know what I mean? Like it's just the way it is. Was like being at SNL, and like, was that the first time you realized like, oh wait, this actually, there's people doing this as like people get paid to sit in writing meetings and like come up with funny shit. Was that really eye-opening to you, where you could really see people doing it at a professional level? What was eye-opening to me was how hard it was. Did you like sit in on writing meetings and stuff? Did you see all that stuff? Just to sit in, or like my job was to get all the scripts and copy them, photocopy them. And so, you know, I'd sit and read them, and you'd be like, you'd read like Adam McKay's sketch, and you're like, oh my God, like I can't, how does he do this? Every week. This is so funny. Every week. So that was like the learning curve there. Or watching like David Spade had like a Hollywood Minute then. Oh yeah. And it just, that was great. It was great. And it would just crush all the time. Did he write all that, or was it the writers too? I'm sure he wrote most of it. Yeah. I'm sure he had maybe a little help. And they would have like people would send in jokes and stuff. But yeah, just like to do that every week, like for a stand-up to go and like to do a piece on SNL that's like funny and gets laughs, like that would take me, you know, 3 months of stand-up, like crafting 5 minutes. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know. For them, like you said, every week they got to start over again. Yeah, there's no show the following week. You got laughs this week. Yeah. You know, Lauren says, okay, what do you have next week? Yeah. Planned, right? I don't know how anybody goes through SNL. It seems like really tough. Does your attitude too, it seems like, where, hey, it's kind of an up and down business stuff too. Did like with Norm, you know, I'm sure you're working with him, you know, working comedian his whole life pretty much. Yeah. I'm sure he's seen a lot of ups and downs. Plus he's a gambler. So there you add that, there's the added element of being down, you know, in that kind of life too. Yeah. Like, did that kind of teach you that, or did he teach you like, hey, it is kind of a roller coaster, this business? He didn't teach me. He never taught me anything. Just the only thing he ever taught me was I observed, I think. Okay. He taught me one thing, which was his update style was make the punchline as far away from the setup as possible. So that was something that always stuck with me. And then the other thing that stuck with me was he was just so fearless and just did not care. And you know, I what I had heard was that he was offered update with someone else, and he just said no. He said, "No, I'll do it alone, or I won't do it." Because he, you know, he always had stand up. He just didn't care. He would bomb. He would go and bomb, and then afterwards he would stand outside and shake everyone's hand, and look them in the eye. After, like, if you bomb, you go and hide.
Of course.
Like if I bomb, I like run to my car.
You don't want to see the audience.
No. And he would sit and shake everyone's hand. So that's something that like really stuck with me, and it's something that I should start implementing more because listen, I'm going to be dead soon. You know?
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah. But he was great. He was the best ever.
What's your process? Because I had a chance. Well, I interviewed you before, and I know you a little bit. But I remember I had a podcast with Griffin Johnson back when the Sway House guys were there. I remember going one day to the podcast at their house, and I saw you doing something with I think Bryce Hall.
Yeah, Bryce.
And it was Christmas. It was like a Christmas skit, right?
Yeah.
And I got a chance to see you when we were done the podcast. I just wanted to kind of just observe, like, how does Jason Nash work? Like, that's interesting to me. I don't know. Maybe it's not interesting to anyone else, but like, it's interesting to me. And it was wild seeing you work as an outsider because, well, one, there's a very high level of energy.
Yeah.
And then two, there was a very specific vision, and you were really the director. And it was kind of like, hey, you need to say that was good, but you need to say this line a little different. You need to put the accent on this word.
Right.
Like, for some, I don't know. I'm not a comedian. For some reason, I guess that makes things funnier, right?
Right.
Or you need to, no, you need to shoot it from this angle, or you need to be standing there, or like, is that one of your best skills, you think, is directing people?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't want to be a director in any way. But sometimes in YouTube, like you just have to make the video. So you're just like, okay, do this or do that. Or I guess when you write something, you have an idea of what it's supposed to be like. So you just try to make the people do it as close to that. But I don't really have any. I directed 2 movies, and I don't have the... That's not my thing. Yeah. Like the DP would be like, "What do you think of this shot?" And I'd be like, "Looks good."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Whatever.
I'm like, I got to worry about being. I was in the movies too, so I got to worry about my lines.
That's your priority.
That's my priority. So I don't know how somebody directs and acts. I think that's really tough. I like to be directed.
Oh, okay.
I like somebody like being like, "Okay, that was good. Let's do it a little bigger or smaller." Because I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing right now.
I don't know.
You know, I'm scratching my arm. I just realized that I am, but I probably shouldn't do that.
Why not?
Right. Right. You know? Yeah, but that's part of YouTube. Yeah. That's part of YouTube is you have to do everything. Yep. Yeah. You got to edit it. You got to write it. You got to come up with the idea. You got to get the props. You got to get the location. You got to get everybody there. Usually people are late because it's YouTube. Yes, they're always late. So yeah, but that I guess that's kind of fun too. It's kind of fun to be able to play director that day. Of course. Right. And it is kind of fun. That's what's so great about YouTube is, you know, you can make the idea and you can make it whatever you want. And make it happen in a day. And make it happen in a day, yeah. Yeah. You'd be able to post something the next day or sometimes even that day. Yeah, it's really nice. The quick turnaround time. Yeah. But it always seemed like if for actors, especially musicians too, it always to me would seem like so painful. Like say you're sitting down with Rick Rubin and you're making a legendary, album with this producer and you fucking work on the song for 2 weeks and you finally nail it and that's the copy. Yeah. And then you wait. Yeah. And then it comes out 12 months later. Yeah. And then you get the feedback. Like to me, that's too long a loop. Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't want to wait 12 weeks, especially as talk about a short loop, stand-up comedian. Yeah. You're standing there, you immediately know after the joke's done, did it work or did it bomb? Yeah. Like immediately, you don't have to wait, which it always seemed like why doing YouTube or social media or stuff, that is kind of one of the attractive things about it. Or like when you're filming a movie, same deal, right? You film the movie, who knows when it's coming out, or it may never come out, right? Yeah, I think that's why I gravitated towards the internet because it was like, it felt complete. Yeah. And then I remember when I was making my second movie, I remember being in the edit bay and like slaving over it and being like, oh, how do we make this work? And then I would like look at my friends, and they literally post a video and it's like got 2 million views, and they shot it yesterday. And so, but you have to, again, it comes back to passion. Like if you have a passion for movies, that's what you got to do. The other big thing that I've learned this year, or relearned, was when you try to do something, it's a muscle. Everything's a muscle.
Yeah.
Like I started to write stand up in January for this tour, and I just couldn't do it. I was like, I can't.
But you've done it before.
But I've done it before.
Yeah.
And it had been like a couple of years, and I talked to my fiancé about it because she writes and stuff. She's like, you gotta just, it's a muscle. And so, yeah. And then I was over time able to like, okay. Now I've got it. I've got it more. I don't have it great. But yeah, I think that's really important too. Just like everything is a muscle. Like if you want to do something, like you got to get on that. If you want to write a movie, you got to just get that writing muscle strong.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too is, so when we go back to, you're done Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
You're done Norm. You're doing stand up. You're moved to LA. You're doing your acting thing and stuff. It seems like no success really.
No.
Until Vine, some success. And then you meet David, and that's when things really took off.
Yep.
But how long between your
I was
done SNL to you meet David? Like how long a time is that?
I was 22 when I finished SNL, and I was 43 when I met David.
Holy shit. It's almost like the Rodney Danger. People don't know who Rodney Dangerfield is.
Yeah.
But who didn't make it till later in life.
Yeah.
He was selling aluminum
I think he
siding.
made it when he was 50, right?
Yeah, which is very rare. And he was bitter.
And he was
super bitter because of it.
But also he was beloved.
Oh my God, one of the greats.
Beloved by everybody.
For sure.
Yeah. Especially the younger comedians.
Oh, they looked up to him. Well, he had his own comedy club where a lot of guys started.
I think he gave back a lot
to
the younger comedians too, so maybe that was why. But
how did you get through that whole long stretch?
I don't know.
You had kids too, so it's not like it's just you. You can like sleep on a guy's couch. Like,
I don't know, man. That's crazy now that I think about it. I don't know.
Kids, bills, a wife who's probably giving you like, hey, David, we got to pay for this next month. You know what I mean? Like, what's the plan?
I guess I just would take little jobs like the roller coaster game show.
Yeah.
So you take a game show job. It's like, if you get it, it's like $2,000 a week. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then, so you do that for like 13 weeks. Then you don't do anything for a while. And then maybe you get another one. You get little acting jobs. You like meet people in the community. I would get like hired for like 3 lines on like House or like Drake and Josh or
now infamous appearance.
Yeah,
on Drake and Josh.
yeah. And so that's why the strike is important, because something like if you're on House, that can pay you over time like $10,000. So that's why it's important that they get their money, even though I'm not in the union anymore. But
sure,
yeah.
Or even the likeness thing scares me.
Yeah,
like that. I think Crispin Glover just won a lawsuit against that. They were using his image from, I think, Back to the Future, sued, and he won.
Oh yeah.
But to me, that's scary. Like, you're okay. You want to give me scale, $2,000 to appear on the show, for a couple of days. Okay, cool.
Right.
But you don't get to use this. I don't think you'd want to. But
right.
You don't get to use my face 50 years from now in some commercial.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's a huge issue. I'm not an actor, but if I was an actor, that would be scary to me.
For sure. And that's why I'm not an actor.
Yeah.
Because I don't like any of that stuff.
No.
I think it's like all, I don't know. I don't like going to the trailer. I don't like waiting. I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about no feedback, right?
Yeah.
You're sitting in a trailer. You're waiting all day. You're not doing.
Yeah. I just didn't enjoy it. It wasn't for me. People always would say that to me. They're like, why don't you be an actor? I was like, I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you keep positive during that whole time and not become bitter and disillusioned? Like, you seem like you've had a good attitude about this whole thing, where a lot of other people would have, hit 30 and said, I'm tired of waiting around, doing auditions, the rejection.
I just couldn't do anything else.
What do you mean?
Those are the people that make it.
Yeah.
The people that don't have any other options.
That's true.
So it's like, if you just don't have any other options, like that, you'll make it.
Yeah.
It's going to take you 20 years.
Yep.
But, Yeah, that was probably it. I was just like, didn't want to work at a bank.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, when I got out of college, I worked, I got hired at like Morgan Stanley.
Why does that seem funny to me?
And it was like, oh, I was like, this is great. It was like, I don't know, it was like $900 a week or something like that. Yeah. Like, this is perfect. This is plenty of money for me to live on. Yeah. And I went in and I was like, I was so naive to think like what I'd have to do for the $900 a week. And they just dropped a thing on my desk, which was a bunch of cold calling, just basically cold calling people.
Oh, I've done that.
To get their money. And they put it on my desk. I was in a tie and I was in a room with like, 30 other 22-year-old guys who had just graduated college. And I just hung up the phone and I just walked out. I was like, I can't do it.
I've had jobs like that.
Yeah,
cold calling, it is fucking soul sucking.
Now that said, I can go cut the grass. I can dig graves. I can wash dishes.
Okay,
I'm fine doing that.
Yeah,
or doing speakers.
Yeah,
I was not into that.
So you meet David.
Yeah,
and how important or how hard is it? I guess is the question to find. If you're a creative and whatever, whether you're a comedian, you're a writer, whatever that is, or an artist, whatever, like how rare is it to find your other half?
Oh yeah.
Who is into the same things and gets the same humor you do and is fun to hang out with, and there's no drama and there's no, dark side to them, and there's no hang up. It's just easy. Like how hard is that to find?
It's really hard to find.
Like you found how many?
I mean, I would say like David and Brandon.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I had a couple of comedy partners when I was in my 20s that I really liked their sensibility.
Sure.
But we never got anywhere with it. But yeah, just to find that with Dave, it's just like it's awesome. It's awesome to find somebody that like thinks the same way, thinks things are funny. They think you're funny. You think they're funny, and it's just like lightning in a bottle. And then of course, I was really lucky because he already had a big following.
Yeah.
So right away we were doing stuff and people were seeing it. Cause he had been doing the vlog probably for like a couple of years before he met me.
Okay.
And then when I came in, it was the perfect recipe because he needed 3 videos a week and I was broke.
And have time.
Yeah, and I didn't have a job, and I was just like, he would just be like, "Are you free tomorrow?" And I'd be like, "I am."
And next week, and next week,
and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and I always felt like he had his other friends who were great and doing their own channels, but I always felt like him and I were the two that were like, let's not do anything else.
Yep.
Like let's not, because David doesn't drink, not really, and just let's just do this, and that was so cool. So just be like, and I think that's another key for people. It's like, just do one thing. Like don't do 5 things. Do one thing
and get really good at it.
And get really good at it. And that's what I did when I started YouTube. I had come off like making a movie, and someone was like, we want you to write a weed movie.
Yeah.
And then I called them right up and I was like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I was like, I'm just going to do this. And that was really fun. So then it was like, you had the opportunity any time of day to get a good clip or get a piece of content, and start at like 2:00, or he would come pick me up at like 1:00, hit like 5 different places, go all the way till like 11, 12 at night, go to sleep, get up, do it again. And then edit whenever he would post, and sit in a bed with him and edit.
What was the process like of you guys? Like, you're constantly 3 videos a week's a lot of fucking work, right? So what's I think I interviewed David and I asked him about the podcast.
Yeah.
And about your podcast views. And he goes, so like, what goes in? Do you like sit down and like spend time and like brainstorm ideas and stuff? He goes, no, we just walk in the studio.
Yeah.
And record and we talk.
Yeah.
I think he was kind of like glossing over. There's got to be some behind the scenes.
Oh, he would have like a couple of funny stories that happened.
Okay.
And we would just, we didn't have guests or anything. We would just talk about what was going on amongst us.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be like, Ilya keeps turning the heat up in the house. something like that.
Okay.
You know, or Natalie went to Fiji when she should have been here working, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so we would always have like 3 things, and then, but he was really good at it, and you know, it's a shame he stopped because he was great at driving it, and it was a really easy job for me because I could just sit there and say something funny once in a while, and yeah, I miss it. I miss him. I wish he would, you know, make content again and make videos, and I think he will.
Yeah.
I think he'll do something. He's so smart. He's such a smart guy, and he's only 27, and you know, to accomplish all that at such a young age, like I think there's a point where you have to turn around and go, take a breath.
Sure. And
go, oh, okay, who am I now?
Yeah.
You know, I already was who I was when I met him.
Yeah.
I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
And so but for him, I understand that, like, it takes some time. It takes some time to mature.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm not even clear. Did he stop doing YouTube? I'm not plugged in that world anymore because of the Jeff thing. Well, I knew he didn't. Is that why?
No, I don't think because of the Jeff thing. I just think he was just done with doing it. He just did it all.
Yeah. You
know, and like making those videos is like, I think he came back at one point and did a bunch, and it's just like, it's not the same. The friends aren't the same. The friends aren't out getting drunk.
Yeah,
it's harder to get the content.
Everybody's ripped now.
Everybody's ripped. And he just didn't, you know.
Everybody's healthy.
I hate speaking for him.
Yeah.
But I just think he kind of done it all, and he was done with it. And I think you see this a lot with people. I think you see people, they're just like, we did it.
Yep.
It's over.
Yep.
And so
it doesn't matter about the money, because you could go,
yeah,
you're crazy from walking away from that amount of money, but
the podcast he could have kept doing.
Yes. Yeah. What the I mean, why stop the podcast?
I just don't think he liked it.
It was never his thing.
Yeah. He wasn't into it. He's just not, he doesn't listen to podcasts.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. He's not like you and I, where he's like, oh, what's Theo Vaughn up to?
Yeah, you know,
of
course.
Like, but which is fine. You know, he didn't want to do it anymore. We had a good run, and everything comes to an end.
Yep.
Everything. I remember we were on a jet once, and it was the height of everything, you know, and you're like, like, this is crazy. We're on a jet, like going somewhere for work. Like, what? Like, I never thought I'd be on a private jet. And I was like, enjoy it. Because you know, these things, they don't necessarily last forever.
Because I think you had a different perspective on things.
Yeah.
You said you were grown.
Yes.
You worked in entertainment and had to have all those up and downs. So you knew.
Yeah, you know.
It ain't going to last forever.
Yeah.
I may not be on a private jet ever again.
That's right.
I may be commercial for the rest of my life.
Right. I think when you find success later, it's really good.
Yeah.
Because you appreciate it. You really fucking appreciate it.
Yep.
Like, I appreciated David so much when he came along, because I was like, this is incredible that someone is like hearing my ideas and implementing them and
values them
and people are seeing it, you know, like, to go so long not having that. So that is the good thing. And I think a lot of the kids that hit it big young,
yeah,
you know, they don't know. They like don't understand. I tried to explain that to my son, like with his band. Like I was like, this band is like, you have nothing to compare it to, but it's really special, you know. But there's no way he can see it. He has no perspective.
Yeah,
and I'm sure he gets it, but he can't possibly really get it.
I used to interview like a lot of influencers. That's all I did.
Yeah. And
eventually the TikTokers, it started to get, it was just old.
Oh, what was it like?
And I couldn't relate really, because a lot of them, I met some great ones. I'm still close to Griffin Johnson and Josh Richards and all those guys. So
those guys are great.
I formed some good relationship. Bryce is great too.
Is great.
So
is Noah.
Addison, Charlie D'Amelio's, I'm friends with the whole family. So there's some good ones out there, like real pros.
Yeah.
But some of them you sit down with and it's like, well, I'm 16 and I'm hot. I look good in a bikini, or I'm shredded and I got abs.
Right.
I just posted a couple videos and the third one blew up and I started getting brand deals. Like, hooray.
It's really tough.
And like me as a 45-year-old guy who was in sales for his whole life and didn't get into this world until much, much later, like, it is so unrelatable to me.
Right.
Like it was just, I couldn't relate to it, or
you can't talk about Riz. You can't talk about
You
can't talk about Livy Dunn.
I don't use the word bet.
Yeah,
you know
bet.
what I mean?
Oh, okay, bet.
I don't know what bet it means or no cap.
Yeah.
Like I don't use that in my
goes
life.
hard.
Yeah.
I get it. It's we get people TikTokers pitched to my podcast.
Yeah.
And they're great. And so I always say like, well, what do I don't know what I
unless
talk
they have
to
a good story or there's some kind of struggle.
Talk to them about. Yeah. Yeah. And those are the people that like I really admire. Like, you know, people that have been through stuff.
Yep.
You know, like that's why I love Chappelle. Cause he went through it.
Yeah.
You know, or like
look at Chris Rock. He was a failure on Saturday Night Live. If you could imagine that. People don't know that now. They go, he's a big guy. But he never made it. He never really He was overshadowed by all the other guys.
Yeah.
And he didn't experience it till later.
Or even like what like John Mulaney just went through.
Yep.
Like I like him more.
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
You know? And I loved his special. I thought that was the best special he ever did.
Yeah.
Because he was like telling stuff about himself, like what he went through. And that's the best stuff.
I think that's true in anything. Like no one wants to root for the person who was 16 and hot and just made it.
Right.
Like them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. I root for the Rodney Dangerfield, the guy who was selling aluminum siding.
I guess everybody does. It's a good
I think
point.
that's pretty common.
Pretty common.
And I think that's why I like comedians a lot, because they're always a mess psychologically, right? Usually. And there's usually a long struggle. And that's, I think, what it makes them endearing to audiences, the ones who have had all those problems.
You just hit on something really great, because
what's that?
I left my set last night and I was driving. And I'm driving and I'm going, ha! Ha! Like that. And my fiance was like, what's going on? I'm like, I was just thinking about like a really awkward moment on stage. Like it makes you crazy. It actually makes you crazy.
No normal person would walk up on stage to a room full of complete strangers and try to make them laugh. How hard is it to make someone laugh?
I don't know, man. I still haven't figured it out.
Fucking hard.
It's really hard.
Like no normal person would do that.
No, you have to have something wrong with you.
Yeah, there's some kind of special gene you got to have.
Yeah, but if you do get a laugh, it's a really.
Is that the best feeling in the world?
Oh, it's the best.
Is that better than any YouTube?
Oh yeah.
Video or social media engagement or anything like that?
Yeah, getting a laugh is the best.
Even if it's a small crowd, to go on stage and make someone laugh and see that. Yeah. Is that the most satisfying thing creatively?
Yeah, there was a guy choking the other night and I was on stage and I was like, this is the best feeling. And I said, I hope you die. I said, I hope I killed you. And he was like, and that was a great feeling. But yeah, I don't know.
Is that what keeps you going? That feeling?
No, my kids keep me going.
That's what keeps you going through all this stuff?
Yeah.
You know, when you have to go, when you told me you've got to come up with 100 snaps a day.
Oh yeah.
That was, I mean, I can't even imagine coming up with like 10 or 15 good ones in a day.
They're not good.
They're just volume, right?
No.
They're just
you know, you sometimes you do like 100, 150 snaps a day.
That's insane.
And it's just like, you know, that's who's paying me right now.
That's the game.
Yeah, and then that will die and we'll do something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but it's not, Snapchat is I get asked this a lot by people, and it's a great app.
Yeah.
And what I really like about it is there's no comments.
Oh yeah.
And so for somebody that's like wants to create but doesn't want the hassle of like, you look fat today, or you know,
and you're gonna get it at some point.
You're an asshole or whatever, because you are gonna get it. I just think it's great for that, and it's also like for somebody that doesn't edit, it's great. Like you do everything in the phone, you size the clip however you want. I mean, and anyone can do it.
Yep.
And I don't know the figure, but when I went to Snapchat and they told me the figure of how many people are on Snapchat, it's astronomical.
Yeah.
And it's just a great app, and they're killing it.
They're easy to work with. They pay.
They're easy to work with.
Yep.
They'll call you and be like, "Good job! Like, keep creating." Or what do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really cool. And the guy who runs it, Jim and Brooke, they're like,
Brooks. Shout out Brooke.
Yeah.
She's
and Monica,
great.
they're great. And for anybody that like wants to do Snapchat, definitely do it. There's such a big audience there.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool place.
Yeah.
And you'll get paid.
Yeah, which is important.
Yeah. Because Instagram I don't get paid on Instagram.
TikTok? Well, you're in the beta thing.
TikTok, you gotta like,
pennies.
No, pennies, not a lot. And YouTube pays pretty well, but it's just so spread out now. Yeah, it's just such a grind. Yeah.
And there's costs associated with that too.
Yeah, and you have to pay to make the videos.
Yeah, you got to edit, you got to do all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I want to talk relationships too.
Please.
Because I got you, because you've been in relationships, you're a man of the world, right?
Yeah.
So you're in, you're getting married.
Yeah.
You've been in relationships before, so what makes a good relationship? Like, what are you doing different this time around? And what have you learned from past mistakes?
Well, this is such a great question.
This is my job.
I've learned so much.
I hope so.
Like, I'm so much better now.
Yeah.
Just little things, like if you're going to be in a relationship, like don't be sarcastic ever.
I've learned that recently.
And if the woman wants to make fun of you, that's okay. Great. But don't go back. It's not a 2-man comedy show. You're not performing. Just don't go back. Just be like, oh, that's hilarious, babe. And so I've just learned like a lot of little things, and props to my fiance. She's taught me a lot. Like I do little things now. Like I open the door.
Jason, this is basic 101 stuff.
For the car, I never did that.
Oh no, okay.
Yeah,
I slack on it. I used to do it a lot.
Yeah, you got to do that.
But I don't. Yeah, I do slack off.
You have to. You have to like tell them every single day how amazing they are, 9 or 10 times a day in 4 to 5 different locations.
Yeah.
It's just like you have to put in the work.
Sure.
And make sure that everything's good. And I didn't do that before.
No.
I wasn't like mature enough. I was just kind of like, oh, my career, and I just didn't understand like what it took. And that's what you have to do. And if you want to be with somebody,
yeah.
If you don't want to do that, then don't be with them.
I interviewed Rob Dyrdek, and I
like him.
He is such a cool guy. I mean, he's got his philosophy is watch the video. It's good. It's good, even though no one watched it. I liked it.
Go watch it.
But he does every morning. He emails his wife, like a love quote.
Yeah.
Every morning.
Yeah.
And it's a different quote every day. And he goes, at this point, I use ChatGPT to write it. Like, we don't tell her that, right? And I scheduled them in Google, to send, so I could just
really funny.
Batch them, a week in advance. But she gets an email me first thing every time she, when she wakes up, she checks her email. She's got a, I love you type email. And he goes, that goes a long way. Nobody does that.
It does go a long way.
Little things like that make a difference.
My apologies to my ex-wife, she's watching, and I know she's not. But yeah, you just can't. You have to do all that, and I didn't know that. And I think when guys are younger, they just want they're thinking about themselves and thinking about their career, and they're like, "What, you want me to go rug shopping? What? The boys are watching the game." And so that's the nice thing about being older is like I don't watch the game. And I don't have any other interests, It's just like I'm fully committed and fully putting all of this energy in. It's a lot of work too, though.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it really is. But I like that Rob Dyrdek thing. Like I'm gonna do that.
Steal it.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal it.
Why not? Use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of AI. This is where AI can help you. You don't have to come up with these flowery, quotes to yourself.
That's really funny.
Just hey, ChatGPT, write me 10 emails to my wife
giving me
that are romantic.
Just even taking the time to go into ChatGPT.
It works.
And so you'll give ChatGPT the email and it'll send?
Yeah, I'll go. Well, I'm sorry, I'm breaking the fourth wall with my wife, but I'll go, hey, I want to email my wife a short love quote for the week. Write 7 short quotes about, how a man loves a woman.
Wow.
And boom, it'll just crank them out. And I just copy and paste.
But doesn't that like, I don't know.
It does. I mean,
cheapen it.
Yeah, but I mean, look, I'm a semi-creative guy, but I can't possibly come up with 365 love quotes.
But aren't you... But now something like that feels like you're falsifying
documents.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
it is kind of.
Or you're creating a level of expectation that's been created by a computer and not you.
Sure.
So I don't know if I can do that.
Well, I take that back. I'm being funny, but I won't copy and paste it, but like I'll like the first sentence and then I'll write 2 more of my own after that. Okay, right. So I kind of play around with them.
You're really raising the bar.
But it gives you
ChatGPT into it.
Right? No, Rob did. I got to give.
I thought it was a lot just opening the car door.
No.
All right. But we're in agreement. It does. It takes that level of commitment.
For sure.
Yeah. And also, like, it's really funny. Like, she doesn't allow like any kind of negativity. And so.
What do you mean by that?
Like today I was late coming here and I couldn't get out of the parking lot. And I was just in my car like, fuck.
You weren't really late. 5 minutes?
I thought you were further. I thought I was going to be late. But that's something I wouldn't do in front of her.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or sometimes we'll be driving and my windows are up and I'll be like, you motherfucker. Like someone will cut me off.
Yeah, of course.
No one hears me.
Yeah.
She'll be like, babe. She's like, we don't do that. And I'll be like, oh, okay.
Does she manifest? She sounds like a manifester.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really positive. She just doesn't allow any kind of negativity, which is good.
Yeah. So what advice do you have for you watching the aspiring creator out there or the person who wants to start a business who has kind of a career arch like yours where it's like no success, little tiny success.
Yeah, find a guy,
no success.
Find someone like David Dobrik and latch on is what I would do.
That's pretty. I mean, why not?
I mean, I guess my recipe was.
But what did you do to put yourself in a position?
I practiced
to meet David and be ready for that when it came about.
I practiced and I wrote every day, and I practiced my jokes, and I wrote jokes, I wrote sketches, I wrote. I had a passion for comedy, and had lots of ideas, and was always and kept writing until, was able to show what I had.
Yeah,
and so that's what I would say. And if somebody is like older and they want to switch careers or whatever, like, go to the internet. The internet's a great place.
Yeah.
It's like you're living in a great time. Especially TikTok. You can blow up on TikTok really fast. People always ask me that. They're like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And I'm like, go on TikTok and make a blog and, or not. It's okay not to too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you like have a passion for this, I would say, look at like Matt Rife. Like he really blew up on TikTok.
Oh my God.
Just with not even stand-up clips, just crowd work.
Yeah.
And so that's a great example, and anybody can do it.
Talk
even
about
you, Tom.
Yeah, right. Talk about perfecting your craft too. Like you said, comedy. It's easy to look at you and go, yeah, he did some things, then he met David and boom, things took off and life was great forever, right?
Right.
But they don't see those years of perfecting your craft, that this Jason didn't happen overnight. Like I always there was a Leonardo DiCaprio quote about that where somebody was giving him for like, he got paid, I'm going to get it wrong, but like $1 million for a 5-minute spot in the video. And he said, no, they're not paying me for the 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They're paying me for the 30 years of practice
that
it took to be able to make those 5 minutes look good.
Yes. What a great quote.
So when you see Jason Nash got paid this for the brand deal, or he was making this off the podcast, that's great. But they don't see the years of being broke and still writing, taking that shitty job that he's not into, all the other stuff behind the scenes to get you to that place.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a great way to put it.
Like, talk about that. I mean, just putting in the work and perfecting your craft. Like you said before, I think it was great advice is people try to do everything. Like, pick one thing and try to get really good at that and stay with it.
I don't love the term like perfecting your craft because I never feel like anything's perfect or anything is perfected.
Okay.
But I do understand that like I've gotten better. And so just getting better every day and just like working towards something, having an idea and completing it is and don't be somebody that talks about it. Don't be somebody that's like, show don't tell. It sounds cheesy, but don't be somebody that's like, I'm gonna make a movie. Like, go just do it until you've done something. Don't talk about it. Keep it to your vest. Everyone will respect you a lot more when you show up with a finished movie and they're like, whoa, what?
Yep.
And like, yeah, just find what you're passionate about and work towards it. Like, and that's why I don't like perfecting my craft, because I'm still learning right now. I'm trying to write a TV series right now, and I'm reading books about TV series. I'm taking a class from Brett Forrester online.
No way.
Like, I just don't see it that way. I never see it as like,
you're done learning.
I've arrived. It's here. I'm done. I'm perfect. I know exactly how to do this. Every minute, every day is still filled with like, oh, is this podcast guest gonna like me?
Yeah.
Am I gonna do well tonight at this stand-up show? I have to go to Long Island tomorrow and do stand-up. Like, I don't know if the show's gonna be good. Like,
yeah,
maybe I'll do my best. And the real art form comes in accepting the outcome. Like I'm gonna go do this show in Long Island on Saturday. Could be good, might be great, might not be great, but you know, like, it's just another step towards my my comedy special.
Yep.
That's all it is.
And that's easier said than done, though. If you bomb, it's hard to look at a big picture, go, this is one step on my journey, you know, very Zen approach.
But those are the great people.
Who's the great people?
Those are the great people
who can take that approach.
The ones who can not be deterred and look at it analytically. Somebody like Rob Dyrdek, who plans his day. When Kanye from the doc, when he walks in and he shows the album that he made to Rockefeller, and no one takes him seriously. Everyone laughs him out of the building.
Yep.
Like, he could have stopped right there.
And a lot of people would. Yeah.
And so that's what I'm trying to work on. It's just like, hey man, just another step. It's another day into something. Set a really high goal and you'll see, you'll be there. Like my daughter plays volleyball and she said, I said, how was the game?
Hmm?
She goes, we lost. I go, yeah, but how'd you play? She goes, well, you know, her mother goes, she puts the best she ever played. I said, see? I said, that's all it is. It's like, you know, you're like, you do good. Oh, you know, you do good. Oh, but, and then you do good. And then you were here and you were here and you went down along the way, but you're still up, you know?
Yep.
And so I don't know what I'm saying.
No, you're right. And I interviewed Gary Vaynerchuk, and then
I would love to talk to him.
He's just an interesting guy, really cool. But he had a great, you know, story about that. What we're talking about. He was saying when he started out, a lot of people know, they see Gary V on social and everywhere, kind of doing his thing. But when he started, his dad owned a liquor store in New Jersey, and he worked at the liquor store, and he just made videos. It was like Wine Library TV, I think it was called, some YouTube channel, and he would review wines and hopefully like get people excited in the area to come to the store and buy the wine, right? He goes, I made videos for 5 years and no one gave a
Yes.
No one watched. No one gave me encouragement.
Yes.
No one left great comments.
Yes.
He goes, but I just loved the process. I just loved kind of coming up with a script and doing the editing and getting better and watching how many times I say or like, and, you know, having less of those every week and just kind of seeing the progress. So he goes, you can't be attached to the outcome. Now, to me, if I'm a comedian and I bomb, I'm going to be in like self-pity, down in the dumps mode for probably days after.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot of comedians who are like that too. Like, but your approach and Gary's is 100% the right way to go.
Yeah.
Easier said than done though.
I like that story. That's really cool.
No.
Yeah. Good for Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with David. David was doing his vlog. He's getting 6,000 views. He's doing 40,000 for a while, which is good, but like, not enough to pay the bills.
Nope.
And then
yeah, you never know.
You never know.
Well, thanks, man. This was great. We'll plug away. So we've got
podcast, All Good Things Podcast. Yeah. Come see me on tour, jasonnashtour.com. And that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sons Band. Where can we check them out?
Yeah. A Great Big Cow. New album by the time this is out. When's this coming out?
Probably Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay. Well, in August sometime the album will be out.
All right.
Yeah. Great Big Cow.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications. We have merch too. Level up merch.
What's the merch say?
It's time to level up.
That's a good phrase. Is that what you say?
It's kind of what the show's about. Like, it's time to level up. Like, enough already. Like, I just got to the point where it's like, I've had enough. It's like time now. Like, it's not time.
Yeah.
6 months. In 6 months, I'm going to lose weight. It's like, no, now.
Yeah.
Like, enough. Like,
I like that.
And I think you have to be at that point to make any change.
Yes.
Like, it's easy to like, you can never make anybody change. Like, as a parent now, the older I get, the more I realize that. As, you know, being a younger guy and like managing people and like business and stuff, I was like a dictator. I was horrible. I was a horrible boss.
Were you?
Well, yeah, because I just thought like I had this drive and like I could do it. So I could will somebody else to think the same exact way. Like, just shake them and they'll get it. But you can't.
No. They
have to be ready and willing to do it. And usually change doesn't happen unless you're in pain.
Were there some employees that you did motivate got it, but others didn't?
Sure. Like, there's some success stories. This guy, Kevin Palmer, shout out Kevin Palmer, like, you know, made a ton of money and, you know, lived a great life and got promotions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a lot of people who are like, who the f is this bald all? Like, you know what I mean? Like, him. I'm just
How are you a dick? Would you want them in on like work on Saturdays and stuff?
Well, I was in the car business at the time. I started selling cars, man. That was my job.
Well, that's a 7-day-a-week business.
Yes, you're working holidays, right? You're working weekends. Like, I was all f***ed up. I got sober at 27. So my 20s were a complete disaster.
But you were working.
Yeah, but not really. Like, little part-time jobs. Towards the end, I couldn't even hold a job.
Right.
So like, I needed a job when I got sober. So like, cars was like the only thing I could get.
Right.
Like, so.
And did you do well with that?
I killed it.
You did?
Because I was just normal. Like, just talk, like I'm talking to you now is the same way I would talk to a customer.
Interesting.
Like, what kind of car do you want?
From you, yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm just like here to help you. Like, what kind of car do you want? Like, what can you spend? Like, what's important to you?
How would you put the pressure on ever?
A little bit, yeah, because I know, I mean, I don't get paid unless they buy.
What would you say?
You just learn like little psychological tips, like you know, if you know you'd be on the test drive, you'd be like, if all terms and conditions were agreeable today, would you drive this home today?
Yeah, that's
like if you know if the payments were right and you like the color, like would you do this today or are you just fucking around? That's what they say. You know, so like you get them to say yes a bunch of times.
One time I was at the Ford in North Hollywood. They took my key to my car that I came in.
Yeah, that's up.
And then they won't let you leave. They wouldn't let me leave.
Yeah, like I never did like that.
I sat there in the middle of it and in the whole place, and I went, I want my key back. They took my key. I started screaming in the middle.
Yeah,
the guy was like, all right, here you go.
Yeah,
that was up.
Yeah, I would never do like that. I was just like, I treat people normal.
But you could make a lot of money selling cars.
Yeah.
Right?
A buddy of mine, one of my best friends, is like, the goal is to become a general manager of a store, because usually the general manager owns a piece of the store. And dealerships is very profitable.
Right.
They don't make money selling the cars. People think like, no, selling new cars, you don't make much money. You make money on the service side and used cars. Yeah.
Got it.
But I mean, you know, a good GM is making over $1 million a year.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. And they own a piece of the business. Usually, like, maybe they'll get 10% of it. The owner will give them 10% over time, and pay him a crazy salary and with bonuses and stuff.
What do you make on a new car? What's a commission?
I mean, you're making a couple $100.
Oh.
If like I was at a Toyota store, now if you're a higher end store,
right?
With markups, if you're at a Porsche
like
store,
you're
Toyota
making more. That sells for like $30K.
Yeah, you're making a couple $100, because everybody knows how to negotiate now, and the prices are out there, so no one's making a ton of money on.
What's the commission on a $250,000 Ferrari?
I don't know. I never sold one, but I'm guessing thousands. At least.
Yeah, I hate when I walk into a Ferrari dealership because they know I'm not going to buy. And I know I'm not going to buy. And I'm just kind of like, here to take some pics for Snapchat. That's it.
Well, thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure. It was great doing this again.
I love you, man.
All right, man.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.